Monday, July 29th. Amberlynn's video today is a series of question and answers with the attention given to the question of how she gets treated differently because of her weight. And I am sure that this was a totally random question and not at all a setup to try to play for pity. Also, please note how Amberlynn is saying her heart is not in Kentucky. Kentucky is not her home. I am sure Becky was very thrilled to hear that. Anyway, this was filmed in their mystery location, which I and apparently many others, from what I've read, believe is Lexington. It is also another example of how blatantly Amberlynn Reid deliberately posts her videos out of chronological order. Side rant. Editing is turning out to be worse than pulling teeth. I'm not sure if I have a hardware problem or a software problem. I'm using a free program called OpenShot because that appeared to be closest to the old copy of Windows Movie Maker I was using many years ago. The problem I'm having is if OpenShot has even 2 tracks on it, one track for the audio and one for, they're just pictures most of the time. But if there are 2 tracks in OpenShot, the whole thing hacks up and crashes. If I just do 1 track, and the preview did not work very well, the preview section was choppy, but the program did not crash, and I was able to do what I needed to do. But the instant I put a 2nd track on there, so I can combine things, not just trim off edges, it blacks out and crashes. And I don't know why. Does OpenShot suck? It came fairly recommended. Does OpenShot just suck, or do I not have the RAM? I have 4 gigabytes of RAM on this laptop. And the last time I did these sorts of things was 4 or 5 years ago. You can actually see those ancient videos. They're still here. But I was dealing with 500 megabytes of RAM. And I was not having the problems I'm having now. And at the moment, I'm actually afraid to go back online. Because every time I do, this damn Windows 10 forces me to download another quote-unquote update that I swear is just making things worse. Apparently in Windows 10, you can't turn off auto-update. I wish I'd known that before I so-called upgraded. I mean, this laptop, it was a purchase of desperation. I was going back to school, was finally finishing my extremely useless degree. Hello, cat. And my computer had died, that old 500 megabyte computer had died, and I just needed something, anything. So I admit I did not research, not that I would know how to research computer stuff anyway. In my day, the so-called computer science class was how to use Microsoft Excel. So if someone out there would be extremely kind and explain things to me the way you would explain them to your grandmother as to if I need a new program or if I need a new computer, I would be endlessly grateful. Thank you. Tuesday, July 30th. Still no day 2 weigh-in. Still no day 2 anything. I am feeling extremely trolled and annoyed. So today, Amberlynn tried Japanese candy. Or at least what passes for Japanese candy here in the United States. Whatever. It's not like she hasn't done it before. But what really pissed me off is how she's saying that she's gonna give the rest of that candy away. But it's opened. It's been opened. It's been opened. It's been eaten a little bit. And she's just gonna give it away to who? Oh, to Becky's family? To the kids? What a bitch. Power level or not, I grew up poor. I'm actually still poor, but at this point I'm used to it. But I grew up poor. And yeah, we were depending on the church food banks. Because back then, in order to even get on food stamps, they didn't take appointments. You had to show up at the office, sit there, and hope you got seen. And my poor mother, a single mother, actually had managed to find a job. And so in order for her to even try out for the food stamp program, she would have had to take a day off of work on the slim chance that she would even get in. So no, we didn't. We didn't get on the program. We probably qualified, but I guess they assume everybody on food stamps isn't actually trying to work for a living. So I grew up heavily dependent on the church food banks, the church charities. And we got a lot of stuff that nobody else wanted and learned how to make food out of that. But the one thing, none of it was opened. None of it was expired, and none of it was opened or semi-eaten. I mean, that is just a cruel thing to do. To give a child who is not like your own kid something that has been opened, especially if it's candy that's been opened. I mean, you're just teaching that child that, she's garbage. They're garbage. They're living garbage disposals. Why would you do that to a kid? Getting unopened, unexpired food from the church food bank is one thing. But being given opened, semi-eaten candy is another. It messes you up. And if Amber really took open candy to those poor kids, then she's scum. That is a scummy, shitty thing to do. You don't do that. So I'm just going to assume that she was lying, and that really, as soon as the camera went off, all of that stuff went down her throat. Because for her to give that stuff away after she's opened it and tried it is actually worse than if she just ate it all. And she probably never even thought of that. Because, I guess she didn't really grow up with food insecurity, because anyone who did knows damn well. Yeah, you'll take opened food, but it still makes you feel like shit. It still makes you feel like a human garbage disposal. You'll do it because you need to eat. But it's awful. It is a feeling that I don't have words for. So I'm just going to assume that she lied, and she really just shoved it all in her mouth as soon as the camera went off. Ugh, jeez. This girl just does not think, does she? Wednesday, July 31st. Still no day 2, still no weigh-in, still no nothing. But hey, look, in Amber Lynn's video today, we finally see her arrival in Lexington after she showed us videos that she filmed there. No, that's not suspicious at all. So, most of it's just filler. They're in the car, she's getting beef jerky, she's getting a Diet Coke, she's annoyed by the beeping of the car, but of course it never occurs to her to just lean over and take the key out of the ignition. I guess that would be too much work. So we have no weight loss, and she has apparently stopped what little exercise she was almost doing. But yay for more shopping! She's gonna go to Target, and she's gonna eat more food, but it's Mediterranean food. Because somehow, more shopping and more food, but since it's different stores and different restaurants, it totally counts as something totally different from the eating and the shopping and the eating that she always does back home. Thursday, August 1st. Well, this is an interesting clickbait title. Something bad happened. What could it be? She's in Lexington. We see a brief bit of walking in the hall, some shopping, of course, during which she showed a very dirty wrist, and it is on her wrist and on the back and side of her hand there. Not so much on her palm and fingers. I guess it could be that diabetic skin condition that I can't pronounce, but that white line on her wrist makes me think it's dirt. She also left the scooter out in the parking lot and later said that that's what people like because one person one time told her thank you. I'm sure that when Amberlynn herself goes looking for a scooter, she never just walks in the door of the store and expects to see the scooters all lined up in the front there, all charged and ready. No, I'm sure Amberlynn has Becky drive around looking for one in the parking lot and just hopes that the scooter battery is not completely dead yet. Remember, Amber doesn't drive, so she does have the option of driving the scooter back inside herself and having Becky pick her up at the door. This is also when Amber bought the 90s nostalgia box that she already showed us, and apparently filmed the unboxing because, wow, that is the exact same outfit and jewelry and makeup and everything. And since the 90s box video was posted July 22nd, it had to have been filmed before July 21st, because rendering takes forever. So there's a timeline note for anyone who's still trying to figure out Time Lord Lynn. Also note the cat toys that she said, ooh, good ASMR. So if an ASMR video with those things shows up, guess what? And just how do you play Cards Against Humanity with just two people? And I'm also amused at her rant about the price of water bottles. I guess she thinks she's too good, too special to drink tap water in a Lexington hotel. Oh, she started her period today. That's the bad thing that happened. Well, that one I can understand. Periods really do suck.